Plato once said, to measure a man's success is to measure how he handles power rankings. This is Locked On Big 12 and a little Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to a Locked On Big 12, Locked On Baylor crossover. Thanks for making our shows your first listen every single day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network in the world. We will start with the power rankings. That's why Cam is here to help break those down, introduce those. Of all the Baylor fans that I know, Cam's kind of middle of the road here. He just is the partial comedic relief. Someone commented a couple weeks ago.
One of the Baylor fans of all time.
Actually, I'll share this. Somebody commented a couple of weeks ago about you and said, I love a good review from Cameron Stuart, Stewart, Stuart. And I thought that was awesome. Like, you know what? We'll keep having him on. We will start with those power rankings. What's new under the sun? We'll start with those power rankings. And then the biggest idiot alive, possibly, is the Baylor athletic director, who comes from the Big 12, but is also the college football playoff committee chair. He just put his hands on a child. Not good. Then Joey McGuire to LSU is the rumor. LSU sent a plane to Lubbock. I don't think he's going to leave. But at least something to monitor, because I do think a lot of people will throw a lot of money at him. If you hit subscribe, we could keep our jobs. Power rankings. Number one, who do you think it's going to be?
I think you put an Easter egg in there by wearing a Kansas sweatshirt. It's got to be the Jayhawks, number one.
I think far and away, we've known this, that Texas Tech's the best team in the Big 12, probably. And there's a gap after Texas Tech. I want to continue to ask, how did they lose to Arizona State? How did they lose to Arizona State?
It's baffling. It is baffling. Even, no matter the health situation for Arizona State, that is nuts. Because even when Arizona State was at their best, Tech is clearly a better team. They're better than everybody by a sizable margin in this conference. Now, that does not mean that the next two teams in the Big 12 aren't good. It doesn't mean that they're not even playoff worthy, because we've still got a couple more weeks of games here. We still got 3 more weeks of games. But Tech is that much better than anybody else in this conference. And they can compete with just about anybody in America.
It's Tech, then the gap, then still the team that I need you to understand, get it through your heads, the team that beat Utah straight up, BYU in the 2 spot, Utah in the 3 spot, and I think there's a second gap past that. It feels pretty square that those are the 3 teams the Big 12 is hanging its hat on from this point, Cincinnati and Houston, which, by the way, Houston not being ranked in the AP poll as an 8-2 football team is wild. And
I know, but
Virginia's still ranked. Who have they beat?
I know. That's the team that I look at, Virginia. That's the team that I look at. And I'm like, because I'm sitting here thinking of Houston in a vacuum and someone who watches Houston every week. And you're like, okay, I kind of get it, because there's always questions about this team. And they just didn't make the most of their opportunities for the most part against UCF and still won. But then I look at a Virginia, even a Georgia Tech from the ACC, who really hasn't won a big one since Clemson week 3.
Do you remember, and Clemson sucks, do you remember when we said Utah and Houston are the same team in a different font?
I do remember that.
Do we have any reason to come completely off? I mean, they do things very similarly. Houston anchored on defense. The only difference is Utah's blowing people out. Houston's winning. Yeah. They're just close games.
Yeah, Utah plus 140 since that loss to Tech. That's nuts. And just as someone who watches both those teams, Utah is just more talented, I think. There's more things that they can do. But that said, and that's why they're ahead of Houston in the power rankings, right? That's what power rankings are. But that's not even that much of a diss on UH, man. They're still sitting there at 8-2, and they don't have the talent that Utah has. That's a good testament to them. Why are you bringing this up?
Baylor this week it could very well be a bloodbath.
It's not a great matchup. It's not a great matchup for the Baylor Bears. Let's say that.
for the Bears. Speaking of those Baylor Bears, they come in, and I'll give you the rest of this kind of through the top 10. I've got Houston at 5, Arizona State's at 6. Like, no. Houston's 8-2, dog. I mean, Arizona State is one of the wishy-washiest teams in the Big 12 Conference. Their injury issues have certainly been, telling, and that's not great. Arizona's at 7. But by the way, after Houston, I think we've officially lost the contenders, although I do believe there are just 3 true contenders. At 7, Arizona. They are still, for some reason, winning. They're still not terrible.
Still there, man. Don't keep doubting them.
They're
anybody who's playing them, I should say.
Yeah, they're kind of hanging around here. And after Arizona at 7, Iowa State at 8. They're playing better. They finally won a game. Lest we forget, they're still – this is where we get in the category of teams that are going to finish in the 7-5, 8-4 spot. The Big 12 is going to get maybe 11 or 12 bowl teams, which is a crazy number. Iowa State at 8. TCU, head-to-head win against Baylor. They're at 9, even though they lost. Baylor is at 10. Down the stretch, I think we need the Baylor Bears to lose as a Big 12, right? Did the Baylor Bears need the Baylor Bears to lose so that Dave's no longer the coach anymore?
Well, some people do believe that. Some people, and look, I mean, for a long-term future thing, it's probably not the worst thing in the world if this team doesn't go 8-4, right? I'll just say that. I'm not going to root for them to lose.
Right.
It's one of those. I was so ready. Actually going into this weekend, Drake, I was so ready to come on this show and be like, when TCU beats Iowa State, like I'm going to give this impassioned speech about how much better TCU is than Iowa State and how we kind of all got it wrong in the preseason. And then it didn't happen. So I can't make that. And back to Baylor. It's a tough last 3 games. They got to face Utah, obviously, and got to face Houston and go on the road against Arizona. Those are not easy. I think they are more likely to drop all 3 of those games than they are to go 2-1. And this is just an okay, solid football team. But if by some miracle, Drake, they go 8-4, like if by some miracle they win the last 3, Baylor doesn't fire coaches who have back-to-back 8-4 regular seasons. I'm just saying, which is crazy. I still lean towards this is the last 3 games of Dave Aranda's Baylor tenure. But you don't fire a coach who goes back-to-back 8-4.
Yeah.
Like that's scary. So there's a lot of Baylor fans who are kind of playing with house money here of like, obviously I'm going to root for them to win, but if they lose, I mean, means to an end.
Hello, Jeff Traylor. Whoop, whoop. The rest of these power rankings.
Eric Morris.
Kansas State, by the way, in the graphic initially I put out, I had Kansas State at 9. I moved them back. I don't know why I did that. They're 4 and 5. Kansas State's at 11. Kansas is at 12. UCF's at 13. West Virginia 14. Colorado 15. Oklahoma State 16. Again, there's a world where the Big 12, like I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas goes to a bowl game or if K-State goes to a bowl game. We could get 12 teams at 6 wins. Overall, that doesn't hurt the Big 12.
No.
3 really good teams, and everybody else is just kind of meh.
Yeah, the rest of the prognosticators would rather they have 4 Purdue's in there and a couple of Mississippi States and schools like that, just so, I don't know, it'll make your conference somehow look better. But I don't mind most of the teams in this conference going bowling. I think that's a good thing for the conference.
Yeah.
And like you said, though, like there are 2, maybe 3 teams that are a cut above kind of everybody else, and then obviously one that's a cut above those other 1 or 2. So, like, I think there could still be 2 playoff teams in this conference.
Maybe
I don't
3.
think that's crazy. Maybe 3. Maybe 3.
Yep. The AP only moved BYU down to 12. I could see BYU in this ranking coming out being 12 and Utah being 13. And you're going, okay, well, also I really wish Oregon would have lost to Iowa.
Man, wouldn't that be great, though, by the way, with BYU and Utah being 12 and 13? Wouldn't that be great, since it's one of the best rivalries in college football, to play it the last week of the regular season?
Here's the deal, though. Here's why. And
why?
Shoot, I'm going to stretch this show out. So, because they're not playing on the last weekend of the year, if you lose that game and it's the last weekend of the year, perfect excuse the committee can say, you're done, you're out, smell you later. If you play that game with 3 games to go against West Virginia, Oklahoma State, UCF, and you're on a 3-game win streak, the committee cannot harm you as much. That's why it kind of makes sense to me to not put the biggest matchups on the last weekend. You're asking the committee to you're asking your teams now have an excuse for the committee to kick you out.
I get that.
Yep.
I get that. I just think they're great rivals. And here's the thing. Here's where the litmus test will be this year, Drake, for that theory.
Litmus.
That's what I said. Litmus test.
No doubt. I was commending you.
Oh, I was like, I didn't say lip this time. The litmus test this year is mainly Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech will be in a playoff position in all likelihood, or at least be right around one at week 12, and they will get their doors blown off by Georgia. Mm-hmm. And so how much does that theory hold up? Same thing with UVA. UVA, they could lose to Duke, but they probably should still be right around that number 12 spot, right near it, and they'll face Virginia Tech, who they should beat. But, it's a rivalry game. All bets are off. It's the last one with the interim coach before Virginia Tech hires somebody. So maybe there's something there. That's obviously a bigger upset but it's really going to be Georgia Tech and Georgia. If Georgia Tech loses by 3 touchdowns to Georgia, how does the committee see them for that last week of the season?
Yeah, that's valid. We can't win for losing anyway. So,
but I know what you mean. I just think we need to showcase these rivalries.
The biggest idiot alive. The Baylor Bears. That's coming up next. Locked on Big 12. Locked on Baylor. Every style, every home. Today's show is brought to you by Wayfair. Bought my first house, little starter package in February. I was like, well, shoot. I don't have a couch or a bed or a dresser. So I went to Wayfair. With the holiday season right around the corner, you can go to Wayfair. Get cozy new linens for your guests that you're hosting or fun serveware for the holidays. Wayfair's Black Friday sale is here to help you, and the Black Friday sale lasts the entire month. 70% off. Everything from sofas to spatulas all month long, up to 70% off. Recently upgraded my bed. It was kind of falling apart, which is just not ever a good sign. So I just got a new bed at Wayfair. The bed kind of rocks now. Don't miss out on the early Black Friday deals. Head to Wayfair.com now to shop Wayfair's Black Friday sale up to 70% off. WAYFAIR. WAYFAIR.com. Sale ends December 7th. That's a long Black Friday, dog. Wayfair. Every style, every home. The committee chair of the college football playoff, Mack Rhoades from the Big 12 from Baylor, is maybe the biggest idiot alive. Headlines this weekend, puts his hands on Baylor's best player, Michael Trigg, forcibly grabs him, reports say. I'm reading from Outkick is the article that came up first here. Forcibly puts his hands on Michael Trigg and says, what the F are you wearing? I want to start with, before we give him the complete honor of being let's see if I still have it somewhere in here. No, I don't have the biggest. Idiot of the day. There we go. He's our idiot
in the butt.
I was downtown Savannah hanging out today, and I hear in the distance angels' voices singing, and I thought, well, got to follow that. I was Ethan and Joel Cohen. Oh, brother, where art thou? The sound got me, so I start walking about a quarter mile to find out what it is. It is the Savannah Jewish Food Festival.
Okay.
Hell yeah. So I walk up in there, some halal and other assorted Jewish things are happening, kosher. And I meet the rabbi. This is an out-of-body experience. It said, Shalom, y'all, on the T-shirts. I bought
That's
a cup. I bought a souvenir cup. Shalom, y'all. And I'm walking. There's a small table that has assorted trinkets that you could buy from the Jewish festival. While these bands are playing, this girl comes up with a saxophone and is playing traditional Jewish music. I was in heaven. I got an Allagash White at the Jewish festival.
Where is this going? What?
And I look down at the table at the little flea market thing they have. It's the Diary of Anne Frank.
Well.
Just really hits you in the middle of the Jewish festival when you're like, the one pillar of the last probably 100 years. It's like, man, if that's going to be the name that represents the community, like, wow, I almost feel like I'm appropriating by viewing a copy of the Diary of Anne Frank at the Jewish Food Festival.
Jewish Festival, yeah.
And I thought, how apropos. But I think what's not remotely apropos, this. What are we doing?
Oh, this is...
Mack Rhoades is maybe the least connected human being to the rest of the planet. Like there is a connection between the Diary of Anne Frank and the Jewish Food Festival. There is no connection between dyeing your hair, as he has done, wearing plaid pants, a shirt with every color on the spectrum.
A real Dan Flash's shirt, by the way.
And clown shoes. Literal
like, clown shoes, yeah.
Bought them didn't buy them, probably pulled them off of the cold, dead body of a clown and put them on his own feet. Not to give the idiot of the day fashion advice, but what are we doing here? This is your king.
This is like a character from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, man. Like it's what even is this outfit? It's just like putting three things together. Like
so he's already got a couple of screws, probably a little bit loose. And now look, I worked at and around Baylor for 5 years. Didn't hear a lot of good stuff. Yeah. A lot of good stuff about Javon Overshone, who's kind of his number 2 in charge. Never really had great reviews on Mack. And I mean, if you're a good old fashioned Baylor guy, you're like, well, I'm just you're defending the man who has protected Dave Aranda during his tenure. Hope that's gone well for all of us. Yeah. And also, if you are the man defending Mack Rhoades, I would like to see if you would wear this. Just walk a mile in Mack Rhoades clown shoes. And now it comes out that he is berating, which, number one, why is the AD on the sideline in the middle of the game? Why is he grabbing players? Why is he at my private Baptist university yelling, what the F are you wearing, using swear words? This just isn't, namely with the national attention he's getting as the committee chair. This is not good, however you dice it up.
I just I don't even really get it, Drake. Like I'm still like, it's like the 4th or 5th time I've read these reports and I'm just like, what even is this? Right. So the alleged incident is that during the Arizona State game, September, by the way, it's a month and a half. And I've had people reach out to me around the team that were like, can't believe this is just coming out now. Like this should have come out at the end of September. But goes after Michael Trigg, tight end, NFL guy, big time player, one of the best tight ends in the country this year, who has a brace on his shoulder. He's had a shoulder injury the whole season. And over that brace, he was wearing yellow long sleeve shirt.
Team color, by the way, right?
Under a green jersey. This very nice contrast, right? Very nice. And Mack Rhoades is freaking out. And there's still like no reason as to why he freaked out about that. Like, who cares? Like, if he's wearing purple, that's an issue. That's a problem. But he's wearing gold or yellow under a green jersey. Like, what are we doing here? And then there's another one that after that game apparently goes up to, how the families and friends congregate outside the stadium. Every stadium has this, to talk to the players and everything and the coaches. And then he apparently started like chewing out an assistant coach in front of everyone. And at one point is grabbing him by the neck. Like, yeah. What is going on here? By the way, that coach has not been named. There is one coach that, and none of the reports that I've seen have mentioned that the coach is still with the program or not, because there is one coach who's left the program in the middle of the season. Line coach Mason Miller. Honestly, don't know what the connection is there, but it's weird that comes out, or that this story comes out a week after Mason Miller leaves the program and whatever is going on around that. But like, what even is this? Like, what is going on? Like, you can't be grabbing anybody by the neck in front of people. Like, that's in no job description. Is it like, yeah, you know what? You can do a little bit of that. You can grab a few people by the neck. There's no job description that says you can do that. There's no position of power that says you can do that. This is very, very bizarre. And it clearly has not led to anything positive. The team is still underwhelming. The athletics program in general is fine, but has not nearly capitalized off of the momentum that it had 4 or 5 years ago. When everything was going well. So this is not, and to your point, Mack Rhoades is supposed to be a huge figurehead, not just for Baylor, but for the Big 12.
Correct.
The CFP selection process. Like, he's the chair of the board here. He's in a really pressure-packed situation right now where he might have to fire a coach. And, he needs to put together, a college football playoff 12-team field here in a couple of weeks. This is very weird, man.
More people know
get it.
What the concept of a locked-on Big 12 than know who Mack Rhoades is. Like, this is, as of a month ago, no one knew who Mack Rhoades was. No one cares. Who can you name the athletic director at Wake Forest?
No,
exactly. No one could have named Mack Rhoades as the AD at Baylor. And this would have been a non-issue a month ago. But now you're the board chair of the committee that decides who goes to the postseason. And you're wearing this. I can't get over it, man. It's stunning.
I almost think that, he's got the hand on the shoulder of Dave Aranda who's looking straight down. That has to be what Dave is thinking. No matter what the conversation
is,
Dave
the guy
has to
firing
be like,
me? This,
like, my God,
these
shoes are being worn by the person who holds my family's future in his hands. Like this, right? I mean, it's really in Dave's hands in a lot of ways, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, Rogaine touch of black. Rogaine all black, actually, is exactly what Mack Rhoades has put in the hair. And you may say, oh, this is just somebody who's been who's speaking out of spite. I don't give a rat's ass, dog. Like if you're wearing that stuff, putting your hand on the neck of an assistant coach and grabbing players during the game on the sideline, this isn't a me thing. This is objective.
and while, by the way, his athletic department is going downhill. Like I say, it's okay. Like there's still good things. Like Scott Drew's still there. Women's basketball, top 20. They just had a big win last week. But overall, that athletic department's not going in a great direction right now.
No, it's not. No,
like if we're just being honest.
Equestrian sucks.
That's too bad, man. It used to be pretty good.
Those horse girls. Coming up, Joey McGuire to LSU? I don't think so. Locked on Big 12. Locked on. The Baylor coach? Joey McGuire?
Rhoades, that he let him go? No way.
Jeez. FanDuel. Uh-huh. Today's show is brought to you by them. FanDuel, yeah, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, brings you today's show. Hands it to you, silver platter. And the NBA being back means there's no better place to get in on that action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA, even if you miss the start of the game. Ride the hot hand. FanDuel has live bets, everything. Who will score next? Fourth quarter comebacks. Combine your live bets into same game parlays for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps the game and everything else with it more exciting. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com. Sign up. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All of that and more at FanDuel. This is a fun one, man. I was scrolling the Twitterverse, and I see this from the most reputable. Fans are crazy, man. They track these flights like nobody's business. So from Tiger Bait, it's the official forum of LSU. Somebody reports that there's an LSU plane in Lubbock. It's happening. So the claim here from the Hurricane says there's a plane in Lubbock and it's happening, implying that Joey McGuire is being hired by LSU as their head coach. Yeah, what's up?
Is this Reuben Carter, the Hurricane? I don't think he's with us anymore.
I don't think
so.
The
Hurricane, man. Is that an appropriate name when you're living in Louisiana? Oh. Are you allowed to poke fun at that?
Right. Growing up in Valonia, Arkansas, we had two deathly tornadoes. No one wanted to be nicknamed
Twister.
Here comes the tornado. You're like, too close to home. The Hurricane says, LSU plane in Lubbock, it's happening. I want to be very clear here, and you can give your opinion, but I'll give mine first. I want to be very clear. I don't think there's any way in hell Joey McGuire is leaving Texas Tech. I don't think there's any way he's leaving Texas Tech for LSU. But I am a little disrespected by the idea that people aren't throwing his name around in the conversations for the biggest jobs in the country because of what he has done at Texas Tech. And now he's created one of the biggest jobs in the country at Texas Tech. And I think that Nick Saban and Kirk Herbstreit have all made good points here recently. If you are at a school that is not considered a blue blood, but you are winning, Curt Cignetti, Joey McGuire, whoever's at Georgia Tech, just stay put. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't think, namely given the loyalty that Joey gave to Baylor when he was there and the loyalty he's spoken to Texas Tech, that there's any way that these insane, rabid, idiotic LSU fans have a shot at getting Joey McGuire.
I've got two prevailing thoughts on this. One of them has to do specifically with this and one more general Texas Tech Big 12.
Any of it have to do with Anne Frank and the Jewish Food Festival?
I'm gonna link it for sure.
Yep,
I'm definitely gonna link it. I just gotta figure that out how we're gonna get there first. First thought though is I think there is a chance that Joey McGuire goes to LSU.
Weird.
Like I don't think that's impossible at all. I mean, think about this, Drake. The winningest coach in the history of Notre Dame left Notre Dame to go coach at LSU. Like,
is he the winningest coach in history?
Yes.
That's
he has
gross.
more wins at Notre Dame than Newt Rockne and Ara Parseghian and Lou Holtz, which sucks. Like that should be stricken. Can we find a scandal to get like 20 of those wins out of there, please?
Well, I got a scandal for you. Don't have to look too far.
We got to look up for sure.
Just Google Brian Kelly forklift.
Certified. So, like, as much as we love this Tech story and we love Joey McGuire and we love what Tech can be, well, we know what Tech can be in this new college football, whether we love it or not. I'm sorry, man. If Notre Dame's not above it, then Tech is not above it for a coach leaving for LSU. Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll give you a rebuttal.
I think the difference is one of these people you're talking about is notably possibly the biggest douchebag alive. Brian
He's right
Kelly.
up there. Yeah.
Killed a
Certainly
kid.
on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
And the other is Joey McGuire.
It happens.
Notable good guy, Joey McGuire. That's why.
Yeah, and that's where you got to look personality wise, because right, the big examples of this would be that Brian Kelly one, and the other one would be Lincoln Riley leaving OU for USC. Of like, why is the guy doing that?
That's okay.
You know what I mean?
So now, yeah, you're giving me examples of times where you've said this guy will never leave, and then he just leaves.
Yeah, of like where it just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah,
like and I think Tech and Joey McGuire to a lesser extent, right? They're not a blue blood like Oklahoma and Notre Dame, but it is kind of like what your preamble there of like just stay, man. Like you're doing a really good thing, and you can accomplish great things at Texas Tech. It hasn't really happened ever at Tech, but I think we all believe that in this new college football that could happen. The overarching thing that sticks out to me is this is potentially like the biggest, most stressful thing in the history of Texas Tech athletics.
Winning?
Like I'm saying, if you can't hold on to Joey McGuire after what is probably going to be your best season ever.
If you watch that game Saturday, I genuinely believe they will win multiple games in the college football playoff.
Like, yeah, that's very much on the table.
Like their quarterback Behren Morton wasn't good. He has one operable leg, and they still beat the piss out of BYU.
Yes, the next best team in your conference, whose defense is so legit, like one of the best in the country. So like, if you can't hold on to your coach after that, even with having all the resources, right? You have the money, the facilities, but really the money and the recruiting base that any successful program would need. You've got it. If you can't hold on to your head coach after that, then that does kind of change a perception in the college football landscape. So I think, gun to foot here. If Joey McGuire, like, where's he going to be coaching next year? I'm going to say Texas Tech, but I don't think it's out of the picture at all. That LSU would be the place he'd go. In fact, I was thinking about this a few weeks ago when it came out that Sark would be interested in an NFL job, and the Tennessee Titans name came up, and I'm thinking, Texas head coach Joey McGuire, like he's been in Texas his whole life. He's Texas high school legend. He's like doing it at Tech right now. Like you could have the premier job in the state of Texas and one of the 5 or 6 biggest jobs in college football. Like that's not crazy to me. So I can't sit here and say, oh, well, Texas UT would make a ton of sense, but LSU would not,
Jimbo left Florida State.
That was the first of the really mind-numbing ones.
Like
and the next one for me in all of college sports was Kim Mulkey leaving Baylor for LSU. Like that, and then
winning a national championship and putting a billboard in Waco to celebrate the national championship.
And they do have, to be fair, they do have a national championship plaque for Jimbo at A&M.
Still there, probably.
You're just waiting for that. It's still the 2 question marks there.
Somebody's got it.
You might need to have 3 question marks at some point there. 2 question mark. It might not be in this century.
Oh, I don't think Joey's going to leave. But again, he deserves the look. I hope that Jimmy Sexton is his agent and calls him and says, LSU wants to give you $12 million. What can Kirby Hocutt and Cody Campbell do? And they feed him more money, yes?
Yeah, and it all comes down to, like, this is a very flattering thing for Joey McGuire. Like,
yeah, I mean, look, so I don't think the LSU plane landed in Lubbock for nothing. Like, they're probably going to throw the kitchen sink at somebody who's like Joey McGuire.
It's the thing. He's very close to being the perfect coaching candidate of the 2020s in college football, right? And I say
only if Cody Campbell gets to go with him, by the way.
That would help.
That's a big piece of this.
But like all the things that we talked about with like Mike Gundy being fired at Oklahoma State, like all those boxes he didn't check, Joey McGuire checks. I don't know exactly still like what facet of the game that Joey McGuire is just a genius in, right? But I could say the same thing about Dabo Swinney. right? Like Joe, everything else, Joey's got it, man. Fundraising, public speaking, kissing babies, signing autographs, connecting with players more so, picking a very good staff, like all of those things that you need in the 2020s on the football field, in the locker room, and beyond that, Joey McGuire's got it. He's exactly what you'd want if you're LSU or Florida or Auburn or any of these other big programs looking for a coach this year. That is absolutely anything and everything that you would want. Penn State, obviously that's the different, like, in terms of fit, right? But if you're looking for a coach in the 2020s, Joey McGuire's the dude. And there will not be a how do we put this, cultural curve that Brian Kelly had at LSU. That it won't be the same thing for Joey McGuire. He's not Cajun, but it's not going to be the kid from Everett, Massachusetts, who coached in the North his whole life.
If only there was an athletic director who had Joey McGuire as an assistant coach, and Joey was begging to be the head coach at his school.
I know, but
promising that he would be at the school forever and owe his life to it.
I know, but it's tough, man. He hadn't coached. He hadn't been a head coach.
There he is. Yep, that's it.
In college, he hadn't been a coordinator. I really want to sit here and be like, that should have been the move, because in hindsight, that should have been the move.
Yeah,
but it's tough, man. The players really wanted him. Right?
The number,
remember that?
Like, yeah, he's
whatever
like
the hashtag was.
Number 5 team in the country right now.
But to be fair, I use the argument of like, it's tough to tell. But if you're an athletic director, that is probably something you should see.
And instead of hiring the greatest motivator of our century, you're like, oh, here's a cardboard cutout of what a human being could be. He's going to coach our football team. His name is Dave Moran.
A dynamite defensive coordinator. Okay. Dynamite. He's just not anymore.
Lost his fastball. That's
He's
Cameron Stuart.
Lost the off-speed stuff, man. I don't even know if he has the throwing.
He's Clayton Kershaw in the playoffs.
I think he's got the yips. It's John Lester throwing to first base is what it is right now.
Yikes.
It's that bad.
Yeah, at real Cam Stewart. Bill Buckner trying to play first base in general.
Too far.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Brockton Rock's manager, Bill Buckner.
This has been Always Will Be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day.
You, Dave Stapleton.
Crossover with Baylor.
Bob Stanley. It's actually Bob Stanley's fault. Sorry.
And Dose Grande.